Next, Wisconsin entrepreneurs pitch their ideas to local moguls. They will compete for awards to help scale up their business. These are the moguls. Jerry Jendusa, the former CEO of MTech, is now the co-founder of Stuck, providing breakthrough strategies for businesses. Jerry is the author of Get Unstuck. He is passionate about creating hope and opportunities. Joanne Sabir is the co-founder of the Sherman Phoenix, an entrepreneurial hub for small businesses. She works with American Family Insurance to revitalize Wisconsin communities. If you heard one call, that's all, you know David Gruber, founder of Gruber Law Offices. The Gruber family generously supports numerous organizations and charitable causes throughout Wisconsin. Gale Klappa is the former CEO and now executive chairman of WEC Energy Group, parent of We Energies. Gale is co-chair of the Milwaukee 7 and a member of the executive committee of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. Peg Ann is the former CEO of Empire Manufacturing and supports her community by making connections and breaking barriers to help individuals achieve their dreams. This is Project Pitch It.
Over the past 2 decades, we've witnessed a remarkable shift in popular culture. Thanks to groundbreaking franchises like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Harry Potter, geek culture, once a fringe market, has blossomed into a fully fledged economic powerhouse. However, in immersive experiences like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, these blockbusters of entertainment fail to provide the customer with what they truly want: meaningful participation. How many of you moguls were aware that the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game was born here in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin? For those of you unfamiliar with the game, Dungeons & Dragons is a fantasy collaborative storytelling game where the storyteller, or as we call them, Dungeon Master, and a group of players step into the roles of fantasy characters, exploring the world the Dungeon Master creates. When it comes to meaningful participation, there is no more empowering experience than the creative agency offered by stepping into your own fantasy character. And it was all born here. Drawing on my team's experience in large-scale entertainment ventures, multi-million-dollar food and beverage operations, and the performing arts, we offer a new model for immersive entertainment. As the age-old fantasy trope goes, the adventurers meet in a tavern. So I would like to welcome you to the Griffin and Gargoyle, our 350-seat tavern where all our staff and servers are actors in fantasy character. Our cast serve to draw the customer into a role-playing experience as they develop their own fantasy persona. Other areas of our project include curated curiosities, our Wizard's Antiquity Shop populated by the creations of talented Etsy artisans, the Gnome Alchemist, our steampunk-themed molecular mixology bar, and Huck's Axe Throwing, or as we call him, the Barbarian in the Basement, our 12-lane axe-throwing space. Moguls, when we open our doors in 2024, on the 50th anniversary of the creations of the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game, our 26 acres of commercial property in Lake Geneva is poised to become the premier travel destination to celebrate the genre of fantasy. Our needs at this time are primarily financial as we continue our work with Shive Hattery, the architecture firm who created these lovely renderings, and with Freedy & Associates, our general contractor team constructing the project, and the large group of talented artists who will be assisting to bring this fantasy world to life. The Griffin and Gargoyle seeks bold adventurers to join us on this quest. We invite you moguls to walk this journey with us, perhaps even by stepping into your own fantasy characters as heroes of this realm. We'll see you soon at the Griffin and Gargoyle.
What does the Paladin do?
Well, the Paladin is a character that has very strong virtues and is a fighter for the little guy. So one call, that's all is very relevant to the Paladin.
And Daniel, take us through an experience. So you have a group function or you have a family or you're going out with friends and you're gonna book an event here. How does that work?
So the dinner experience, if you know nothing about fantasy, you don't know role-playing games, you can just come into our restaurant and enjoy a fantastic meal in a really almost dinner theater-esque environment.
Okay.
For those of you that are familiar with role-playing games or are interested in it, we're going to have 6 private rooms upstairs where you can purchase a 4-course meal and a role-playing experience that will take you from character creation all the way through an adventure over the course of a meal.
So this cash flows through just regular participation of folks coming through dinner, just wondering about your pro forma and how this lines up against the debt.
Sure, so we have a couple different revenue streams that we're looking at here. One is our retail space where we'll be offering sort of those fantasy items, the handcrafted items from the Etsy artisans. We have the 12 axe throwing lanes in the lower level, which we expect will bring in a different demographic as well into this experience. And then the food and beverage operation through the Griffin and Gargoyle and the Gnome Alchemist upstairs will both be bringing in.
Wait a minute, did you say axe throwing?
Axe throwing, yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
Real axes?
real axes.
You grab a cocktail and then you throw an axe.
That's exactly what you do. Yes.
It's not any more dangerous than bowling in statistically speaking.
It's just a little sharper than the bowling ball.
Well, those balls are pretty heavy when you drop on
There
your
you
foot
go.
too.
There you go.
I can attest to that. I'm a Harry Potter mama, and so I've spent a small fortune on experiences for the kids. So this is definitely, it's beyond like a burgeoning industry. It's here.
Yeah, we are going to be hosting weddings throughout the year. We're going to have an entire wedding outbuilding where people who maybe they met playing Dungeons and Dragons and they want to come to the birthplace of the game to celebrate that experience. We're going to have a venue for them as well.
So this is a wonderful idea, a brilliant undertaking. What qualifies you to do this? This takes a great mind. So how did we get here? What is your background?
Sure. I've spent the last 10 years in the cinema industry. In 2016, I took the downtown Geneva Theater through its $2.3 million renovation. And then in 2018, I joined Imagine Entertainment and took the Imagine Theater through its $5 million renovation. It was actually through my relationship with Imagine that we came to our 26 acres of commercial property. The owner of Imagine Entertainment, Paul Glanz, when he purchased the property, it came with this 26 acres of extra land. And when he heard about the project and what I was looking to do, he said, you know what, I'll donate that property to you if you can raise the capital to put the building
In
there.
Lake Geneva.
In Lake Geneva,
That's
yep.
not cheap land.
He has a lot of confidence in you.
Right, clearly.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Moguls. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, a fintech company that matches good savers with big banks. Later, an educational platform that is helping students learn about kindness.
Hi Moguls, my name is Nishant Deshpande and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Investi, a fintech startup on a mission to make the financial system more equitable. During the pandemic, 32% of millennials were rejected for credit, and in a time that they needed it the most. And now I'm going to tell you a quick story. So 5 years ago when I was in college, I actually decided to apply for a basic no annual fee credit card. I had a pretty good job lined up at the time after graduation. I had a decent amount saved for my internships, and in general, I was a pretty frugal guy. So I thought that applying for this credit card was essentially just a formality. Well, I got rejected for this credit card. And the reason for it is because when I asked the banker, I was told that getting approved for a loan is really based on your credit history, and I didn't have any at the time. And I remember being pretty angry because I knew that if they looked at my saving behavior instead of just my credit score, they'd realize I was a trustworthy borrower, just not by their definition. And so that moment led me to ask, what if we could evaluate someone's risk based on their saving behavior instead of solely on their history of debt? And that moment led us to creating Investi to make saving easier, a fintech platform that empowers people to understand their financial situation, set and meet savings goals, and move money between any of their connected institutions, all on one platform.
So how does that work in relation to what a current credit score would look like? Can you provide this information to a lender, to a bank? And so how does that work? How do you do your scoring?
Yeah.
And it's all based on assets, so it's based on the amount of cash that you have and how you've managed that cash, is that correct?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is we wanted to create a way to put it in your control.
Okay.
So some of the metrics that we'll look at are your personal savings rate, you'll see on our app on the left, your safety net, so we can show how many months you can go without another paycheck. Right? Those are metrics that are really important to people and really important to lenders. And so the way that we want to prove to the banks is either A, yes, we can sell that information to the bank because our users in our marketplace are able to apply for loans. And when they apply for those loans, we can then also tell the bank, hey, they have a credit score of this, but also this person has had a 30% personal savings rate for the last 7 or 8 months when the national average is less than 7%.
How do you get paid?
So we generate revenue in 3 ways. We operate on a freemium model. So users can pay $8 a month for our premium service. It's called Investi Select. And then banks can pay a $75 referral fee for every new account that we send their way. And then investment brokerages actually pay a commission percentage on every dollar moved to their platform.
Have you gotten any banks to sign on
Yeah.
with you?
Really excited to tell you, yeah, we actually signed a deal with a huge bank. Actually, they're based in San Francisco. They're a neobank. Now is the right time to start evaluating alternative data to help lenders make better decisions.
Very exciting.
Thank you very much. We're really excited.
Congratulations, yeah.
You did a great job.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Terrific.
did.
Just terrific.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Coming up, these entrepreneurs are trying to solve the kindness gap in Wisconsin schools.
Hello moguls, this is Jeet and Sukhi representing Team Unitas. We are a first-time startup and put together we have 46 years of global corporate experience. We lived in multiple countries and experienced different cultures. We migrated to Wisconsin, United States 6 years back. As adults, we both felt welcomed in Wisconsin. Really nice people talking to us very nicely. But what really pains is when your kids are not being accepted. When your kids get intimidated because they look different. Not that it was done on purpose, but it was because of lack of awareness. And the situation becomes worse when the teachers, the fellow students, and their parents do not have this awareness. And I'm sure many of the people watching this show, they might have experienced these kind of things when their children are different in some other way, if not in looks.
So we are trying to create an awareness based on DEI and academic excellence. So we have partnered with a Madison-based company called Filament Games to create a gaming experience which talks about diversity, inclusion, and creates the awareness about that. But the key thing is that the kids should get a feeling or a connect that the content in the classroom has a representation of them. They should see themselves also represented in that content.
So we are building an edutainment business that will enable the kids to learn and embrace diversity right from their childhood through interactive stories and games so that schools are able to accept and bring this interjection into the classroom. So leveraging our talent, we have been able to get state funding through Milwaukee Tech Hub Coalition, through Idea Advance funding from CTC, and we have submitted application for the Department of Education for the Federal Innovation Funding. And we are working with the pilot schools to build the prototype together.
What can we help you with?
Definitely putting a word to the investor community to help us build this experience. Because when you build an experience for adults, you build one experience. But these kids, they change their mind, their attitude every year till they go up to 12 years of age. So we have to build the content, the characters, the costumes, and the stories that will help with them with the academic curriculum. So we need investment.
Where are you in terms of development of the content?
So right now we have built the stories for 5 countries and we have applied for the federal funding, so where we will create the MVP, and we have got good interest from Department of Education, so we are just working towards that right now.
What exactly is the content? How is it presented to the other kids?
So this content, it's right now the stories which are based on 4 characters. So the stories are based around kindness, respecters, empathers, and sharitors. So for example, if they come and talk about United States, so they bring the culture of United States in those stories along with the social emotional learning skill that you have to practice kindness. So all those learnings will come together in our solution.
And there are so many different cultures. It's hard for adults and even professionals that have traveled internationally to pick up on the cultures. How do we expect the kids through the learning module to pick up on that culture and those cultural differences? And then what age group are you impacting?
It's a great question. And you will be surprised that when we spoke to the kids, they all said the same thing. So we are starting with the 2nd grade, and our stories will be limited to the learning standards which are required for a 2nd grade. So this will be a learning that will happen step by step till they might go to the high school.
I love it. So I'm thinking the premise isn't that you're well versed in all the cultures, but that you develop just thinking about the essence of your character's name, the kindness, right? So that there's an understanding that there's a breadth of cultures and that the baseline is openness, respect, and being able to come in with that understanding versus saying, I know everything about the Sikh culture, I know everything about the different segments of the nationalities, but we're really coming in with a baseline of openness and understanding. I love it.
And starting at the second grade level would be a pretty good level for us moguls, too.
Next, the moguls discuss the pitches and decide what award will best help the entrepreneurs. Now the moguls decide which award will best help the entrepreneurs. The Peg-Ann and David Gruber $10,000 Project Pitch It Award will help an entrepreneur soar to the next level. The UW-Lubar Entrepreneurship Center Jerry Jendusa Award is $5,000 plus a business assessment and mentorship to help scale up their business. The American Family Insurance and We Energies Award is $1,500 from AmFam plus mentoring and business planning from the experts at We Energies.
Passions, ideas, and personal experiences can lead to really great things with entrepreneurs. We just listened to 3 different entrepreneurs. We're going to start with Griffin and Gargoyle. A lot of experience in dealing with immersion and entertainment with a piece of property where he was given land in Lake Geneva. It's very expensive land. And he's putting together a business plan where he has quite a bit of finance and it's already raised.
He's well along the way compared to many of the pitches we see. I think he's also, one of the things that impressed me was the depth and quality and clarity of his research. He really understood his market, and he really understood, based on his personal experience, how he could be a differentiator with what he called an immersion experience.
So how do you go from throwing an axe to having a cocktail to having a personal experience that's different?
Well, you have the cocktail first.
It seems like different customers to me.
He was talking about the economic power behind geekdom, which really struck a nerve with me, but it's the ultimate form of escapism, and it looks like he's picked a nice area. He seems like a cheerleader for Lake Geneva.
Let's move on to Investee entrepreneur Nishant. And he had a comment, 32% of millennials are rejected for credit. And David, we'll start with you. You brought up this comment where, hey, you can have cash, doesn't mean you have to pay the bills.
No, it doesn't mean you will pay the bills.
Right.
Was my concern. That's why this old school form of getting credit has gone on for so long, because, I mean, there were times where people were getting loans and mortgages too easy, which kind of destroyed things. Then it went full circle that nobody could get it. Now you're wondering, where are you at right now? And it seems back, to the point where you got all these employment issues and things like that. But I think he's zeroed in on the right group.
And I think one of the things, we're really into tech, and I'm there, but there's certain things that are just basic points of education that we could remedy some of the challenges that young folks are facing. So I'm team tech, but I'm also go back to the basics.
Education is such a great marketing tool too.
But by the time, if you haven't been educated on that when you were young, by the time you get to be the 30-year-old or the 40-year-old, how are you going to do that?
And then the last one, Unitas, we have a startup company that's dealing with gaming and stories, but there's so much more because they're really rooted in diversity and inclusivity. They're rooted in being kind and caring and genuine and empathetic, and trying to teach that through our school system. And then there was funding, Title IV funding. So there's a target customer, but they're just starting. Joanne, what are some of your thoughts?
It's a big, huge, audacious, wonderful dream and offering, but really honing in on the business plan. You mentioned that. Shoring that up is my initial kind of feedback and thought.
Well, not to beat a dead horse, but it's not difficult to sell equality and kindness and sympathy and empathy, but especially at a young age. I mean, it caught my attention really when the comment was made that by age 12, she believes that people decide what's good and what's bad, so it's kind of frightening when you hear something like that. But so how the heck do you get there? 3
interesting concepts, great companies.
Next, the moguls present cash and awards to the entrepreneurs. Now, the moguls present cash and awards to help the entrepreneurs scale up their Wisconsin businesses.
I have the great honor of presenting the Jendusa Lubar Entrepreneurship Center award. This award consists of $5,000 of cash,
Thank you.
and then it consists of a business assessment
Awesome.
to map out who do some of those customers look like, how do you go about getting the funding, and what are some of the steps that you take.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That will be a great exercise. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We really appreciate it.
You have turned a problem and a challenge into an innovative solution. And with that, it is my honor to be able to share $1,500 from American Family Insurance. We believe in dreams, and you have provided a dream and turned it into a reality. So with that, congratulations.
And we're delighted at We Energies to have an additional gift for you. Basically, we'd love to provide you at least one free session where we could walk through with our marketing experts your business plan, your focus on who you might target, and we would be delighted to do that for you. Thank you for what you're trying to do. Really interesting concept.
Wow, thank you so much. That's going to help us a ton, and we're really appreciative of this opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I'm happy to say that you're getting the Peg Ann David Gruber Project Pitch It Award, which consists of $10,000.
Oh my gosh, thank you all so much. That means a lot. This project has been an exciting challenge for me, and every March in Lake Geneva there's a convention called GaryCon, which honors the life of Gary Gygax. And I would love to have you guys out and run you through your own tabletop role-playing experience. Maybe you can play those characters that we had on the screen earlier. But thank you so much.
If I can do that with Peg, I'm all in.
Well, thank you.
We want to throw the axe, too.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Well, thank you all so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Project.
You did a great presentation.
First of all, what a very, very nice group of people. We really enjoyed your presentation. I mean, a lot of empathy, a lot of spirit. It means so much to you personally. Your quests are really incredible. So all we want to convey to you is do not be deterred at all. Don't let anybody slow you down, and follow your dreams and follow your passions and go hard. And I think you're going to have very, very happy and satisfying endings if you do that.
Congrats to all of you.